we bring you the latest in the world of sports and the conversations you want to hear from your favorite icons and athletes. I'm Paulo Del Rosario. In tonight's game plan, the NBA Finals are far from over as Giannis and the Bucks snatched Game 3 against the Suns in a dominating 120-100 victory. Now, where does the Greek Freak rank among the all-time greats in the NBA? The PBA is back, and we'll take an inside look into the league's preparations for its 46th season, which begins on July 16th. And we'll talk familiar faces in new places in the upcoming PBA 46 season who will impress the most with his new squad. Buckle up, sports fans. Let's get in the game. Now, less than a week ago, the NBA world was wondering how the Milwaukee Bucks would survive the finals while their superstar recovered from injury. Today, they stave off a potential 0-3 series deficit led by their two-time MVP with another all-time finals performance. 120-100 is how it ended. Giannis Antetokounmpo with back-to-back 40-point games in this one. So here in Game 3, ended with 41, 13 rebounds, and 6 assists. You know what? Those are Shaq-like numbers. Jrue Holiday came up big as well, 21, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists. And that was the star that was missing for them last time around. Now, Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton with 19 and 18, but take a look at that. We're not even mentioning a Devin Booker, who largely for this game did not contribute what he normally does. Giannis Antetokounmpo definitely sent a message. There will be no Suns in 4, unfortunately. And this series is just getting started. Joining us to talk about the Greek Freak's epic performance and some of the key takeaways from Game 3 of the Finals is my co-host Jeg Godado and three-time UAAP champ and NBA hype analyst Isaac Go. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. Jegs, I'm going to start with you first because I can't see Isaac properly because I know that we're taking into his travel time at the moment. But Jegs, grabe, the Greek Freak, back-to-back 40 points games, but this time getting a win.
Well, first of all, Pao, thanks for having me here. Just here at home, not there in the studio with you, but yeah, that was a crazy game by Giannis. I think it was a historic game. I just found this stat just earlier that he's only one of the 2 players in NBA history who had 40-plus points and 10-plus rebounds in back-to-back finals game. And that other guy, you were correct, Pao. You just mentioned Shaq earlier. They're the only 2 players to ever do that, and that's just a crazy, crazy performance by Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Isaac, your initial thoughts, because grabe, it was dominating from the Bucks, and a lot of people didn't think that they had that in them.
I think you're right. Giannis has been amazing this series, and he has to continue to be amazing for Milwaukee to have any chance to win. But on the flip side of that, DeAndre Ayton didn't have his best game. Per minute, honestly, he was really efficient, but he was snaggled by foul trouble. And at the same time, Devin Booker had just an off night.
Well, you know what? Throughout this entire coverage of ours, I have been saying Suns in 4 because I really found that guy funny. Not because I necessarily believe it, but then the guy chanting it was really fun. But this time around, it's different. You see, there's Batman slapping some sense into Robin because Bucks in 6, according to him. I don't know if that's going to be true, but you know what? We have some hot questions for today with the guy who's known to be the big chill of Gilas Pilipinas, of course. And because of that, we're going to play a little game that we like to call All In or Chill Out. All right, so you know the rules. If you agree, you chill out. If you disagree, if you agree, you're all in. If you disagree, you chill out. Jegs, he's used to being the guy who really defends his statements, and this time Isaac will do the up. He'll now
finally
really go attack Isaac rather. I don't know how that's gonna work, but I want to be friends with Big George, so let's see how that works out. Jegs, get us started on this one.
All right, so for the first one, for For George, all in or chill out, Giannis will be a top 10 all-time player.
Ooh.
What do you think? What do you think, Isaac?
I would say chill out, right? I
Yeah.
would say chill out.
Chill out, yeah.
I think he'll be at the great. I think he may be top 20, top 25 player, but top 10, that's an elite company, and I don't see him joining that group.
Look, we're looking at his stats right now from games 2 and 3. 42 and 12 in game 2, 41 and 13 in game 3. And George, I'm looking at this. Second player in finals history with 40-point and 10-point games back to back. And what more does he need to do to break that top 10 for you, George?
He has to win probably 3-4 rings. Honestly, that would.
Ooh, that's a tough
Honestly, you have
task.
guys like LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, guys who have won at the elite level multiple times. So for Giannis to join that crew, he has to win more than one ring.
Ooh, chilly. You know what, Jegs, we're gonna have a hard time here because when you anger Big George pala, he'll come out and attack. He'll start swinging. All right, Jegs, the next one.
Oh, well, George is one of the best student athletes here in the Philippines, so he's gonna be prepared with his answers. For the next one, big chill, all in or chill out. Shut down Booker, shut down the Suns. So Booker only scored 10 points earlier. George, what do you think?
I'd say chill out. That's not true. Honestly, I thought Chris Paul was gonna have a big game. He had a hot start. He made difficult jumpers to start the game. I felt that he got a little bit passive towards the middle part of the game, and DeAndre Ayton was in foul trouble. So if DeAndre Ayton wasn't in foul trouble, we could have had a different story, maybe.
Really, it feels like you're kind of minimizing the effect of a certain Devin Booker for this team. Do you think that right now he's maybe not as important as people would figure?
I think definitely he's important, but they could have won that game, honestly, even if Devin Booker struggled. If DeAndre Ayton, I felt, stayed in the game and Chris Paul hunted his shots a little bit more, I felt that the Phoenix Suns would have been a little bit more competitive and maybe have a shot to win the game.
All right. Okay. Jegs?
All right, for the next one, Big George, this is probably a little bit easy for you. All in or chill out, Drew Holiday is the most important X factor for the Bucks.
I would say chill out because I still think Chris Middleton is the guy. Honestly, you saw in game 1 he had 27, he had 6, and Chris Middleton's always the second star. So I think if the Bucks wanted to take to the next level, Chris Middleton has to take a step up.
All right, here I think I would have to disagree with Big George for the first time.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Jegs, why? Pray tell.
Because Chris Middleton played well in game 1, right? And Giannis also played well in that game 1. But when Drew Holiday shot well while playing good defense against Chris Paul, they actually had the win. So I think Drew Holiday is probably the most important X factor since Chris Middleton will always be hitting shots and just be a scorer.
Wow, Jay goes all in.
Fair
Big
point,
chill,
fair point.
chill out.
Yeah.
Oo. And I have no real opinion on this one because really, I think both of you have great points there. I'm not leaning towards one or the other strongly just yet. But Jex, let's move on.
All right, next one for Big George. All in or chill out. Giannis is the most dominant player in this series.
I'll be all in on that.
Really?
You see him 40 points back to back. Phoenix, honestly, especially when DeAndre Ayton left the game a while ago, you saw that he was like, give me the ball. He was demanding the ball in the post. He wanted it, and he delivered.
Interesting. Jex, do you agree with that?
I think I would agree. Did you guys know that he didn't miss in the restricted area like game 3? He was 12 out of 12, 24 points in that paint. So
Really? I didn't know that. Wow.
I would agree with Isaac there.
Okay. Well, you know what? Chris Paul fans might have something to say about that, saying that maybe he won't get the 40 bomb in this series, but then the way he commands the game, maybe you'd say it's more dominating. But again, I digress because this how it feels to be unbiased because wala na yung jazz ko eh. But yes, Jegs, let's move on to the next one.
Next one for Isaac. All in or chill out. The first team to win a road game will be champions.
Ooh.
I would say chill out because it's still possible to win a series without winning on the road mathematically. So I think that's still chill out.
He
Really?
pulled out the mathematically card.
Oo nga eh. Napamath tuloy ako eh. Then I realized I don't wanna even guess. And the last one, in connection to that,
For the last one, George, all in or chill out, the Bucks will defend home court and tie the series 2-2 in the next game. Ooh. On the spot.
I would say chill out on that. Devin Booker got his rest tonight. So Devin Booker will be coming guns a-blazing the next game. So I think it's going to be 3-1.
you think it's gonna be 3-1. Jegs, your prediction?
It's tough to say, but I think the Bucks will defend home court. They play so well at home. Let's see if the Suns, stay out hot in that game. So let's see.
Now, with all these hot takes and unanswered questions, we cannot wait for Game 4 of the NBA Finals happening this Thursday, July 15, 9 a.m. Manila time. There it is on the graphic there. You can catch on NBA TV Philippines and on TV5. When we return, we've got more Hoop Talk as we go inside the journey of the PBA's preparation for the new season. We're just days away from tip-off. Keep it here. You're watching the game. Welcome back to the game. I'm Paulo Del Rosario. My co-host is Diego Dario joining us online. Tuloy na ang laban. The 46th season of the PBA tips off this Friday, July 16. The first professional league in Asia took a lot of twists and turns to secure its opening this week, and teams have ramped up their preparations for the new season. PBA Commissioner Willie Marcial shares the journey of the league and the PBA family in this edition of Inside the Game.
We are now with PBA Commissioner Willie Marcial. Willie, thank you for joining us here in the game.
Magandang araw sa iyo, Carlo.
First of all, congratulations. Nagkaroon na ng start date yung PBA. No? Ang tagal na nating hinihintay. We started, I think, way back in March. Pinaplano na nating magkaroon until nagpalit yung community quarantine. Pero pwede niyo po bang explain sa amin kung gaano kahirap yung pinagdaanan ng PBA family para lang magawa ito na magkaroon tayo ng opening come July 16?
Congratulations sa atin, Carlo. PBA family tayo. So, dapat magsisimula na tayo ng March. Okay na tayo, may go signal na tayo ng March. Bigla nga, tama ka, GCQ-HR, tama? So, nawala tayo, hindi tayo nakapaglaro ng Marso. Tapos, ito, GCQR, hindi pa rin pwede. Pinlano na natin na mag-present sa IATF. So, sinulatan ko si Secretary Duque at si Cabinet Secretary Nograles, nakasisiya Malacanang, na para simulan natin ang ating season 46. Ang ginawa naman nila, pinatawag ako nung last Wednesday, nag-present tayo, sinabi natin yung bubble natin sa Clark, successful, naging blueprint pa ng FIBA. Meron successful yung scrimmages natin, out of 400 packs. 6 lang ang nag-positive, 2 pa asymptomatic, 4 mild symptoms na gumaling na naglalaro na ulit. Meron na tayong vaccine, na 2 doses na tayong vaccine, halos 95% itong linggo na to. So yung mga yun ang mga sinabi natin na ang NBA at China 100% capacity. ang Korea and Japan ay 25% capacity, tayo iniling natin makapaglaro kahit walang mga fans. Doon na natin presenta yung mga ibang protocols, yung mga testing, yung mga ibang mahalagang protocols, kaya siguro napayagan tayo.
May chance po ba na papayagan ng IATF na magkaroon tayo ng mga tune-up games sa pagitan ng mga koponan before we start the competitions officially sa July 16?
Yun, i-request ko, may meeting by Monday, kasi yung GAO, yung agreement with PSA, DOH at GAB, kailangan namin ma-amend. Kasi yung sa kanilang GAO, kailangan makakapaglaro ka sa GCQ lang at sa MECQ na 10 lang ang tao. Ngayon, pinayagan na tayo na maglaro talagang officially na mga 110 capacity sa loob ng Coliseum. Pagkatapos nun, i-request, tatanong ko kung pwede na tayong mag-tune-up games. Tama, madami mga teams. Katulad kanina, tinanong ako kung pwede mag-tune-up games. Sabi ko, sandali muna, hiningi ko muna ako ng gabay sa DOH. Pag okay tayo, makapag-tune-up games sila kahit hindi sa NCR, Carlo. Kahit sa Batangas, sa Pampanga, outside NCR bubble, makapractice na sila. Tulad yung iba, may 3 teams sa Lipa, 4 na teams. So, pwedeng sila mag-practice muna, mag-tune up doon sa Pampanga, kung meron man, ay sana payagan tayo ng IATF.
Yung pong coordination with the Pasig City government, gaano po kahirap yung pinagdaanan nyo just to be allowed to play there?
Doon, hindi tayo nahirapan doon. Okay si Governor Junjun Linares, nakipag-usap na tayo nung Marso pa kasi dapat tayo maglalaro sa Antipolo or sa Pasig. Wala tayong problema yon. Nung isang araw, kausap ko si Mayor Vico, personal kong kinausap, na Mayor, papasyal ako mismo sa opisina mo within this week para makapagbigay ng basbas. Sabi niya, hindi, pinapayagan ko naman, Commissioner. Alam ko kung gaano kahalaga ang basketball sa Pilipino. Sabi ko, maraming salamat, Mayor, pero papasyal kami, kasama ko sina Chairman Abalos at si GM Jojo Garcia.
How excited are the teams and the players? Alam ko araw-araw nakakausap niyo yung governors, yung mga players, yung mga coaches, lahat ng miyembro ng PBA family. How excited is everyone to get back into action sa July 16?
Yung mga players, grabe. Kung magsimula na tayo, kahit dito sa Batangas, kahit Pampanga, magsimula na tayo. Gusto nyo namin. Ganon, pati yung coaches, tatawagan ako. Ready na kami. Pwede na kami maglaro ngayon. So, ganon sila ka sobrang excited, parang tayo. Yun nga, katulad sinabi ko, Carlo, sa press ko natin na mas nahirapan ako na gawin tong proseso kesa nung nasa Clark tayo. Ang daming pinagdaanan dito sa pangyayari na to.
The important thing, COMM, is you made it happen. So all the best to you and the PBA family and your upcoming season. Maraming salamat po for joining us here in the game.
Salamat, Carlo.
That was PBA Commissioner Willie Marcial with our correspondent Carlo Pamintuan for Inside the Game. After the break, we'll talk familiar faces in new places in the upcoming PBA 46 season. Who will impress the most with his new squad? Stay tuned. You're watching the game. Welcome back to the game. I'm Paulo De Rosario. Things cannot get any sweeter for Pinoy hoop fans because I say it once again. The PBA is back. Here's one of, if not the top storyline this season. We have familiar faces and new places for 3 of our PBA squads. Christian Standhardinger joins the Never Say Die One Ginebra Nation. CJ Perez debuts as a member of the San Miguel Beermen. And Calvin Abueva begins a new chapter in his career with Magnolia Hotshots Pambansang Manok. Still joining me and my co-host Diego Dario for our PBA discussion is 3-time UAP champion and Gilas Pilipinas captain Isaac Go. All right, gentlemen, a lot to talk about here and really not a lot of time to talk about it in. Pero Jegs, I want to start with you first. When we have a Christian Standhardinger with Barangay Ginebra exchanging one big man for another, you have Greg Slaughter going the other way to Northport, you'd be like, height-wise, they may be the same, maybe an inch or so different, but then what makes this intriguing from a Ginebra standpoint?
Well, I think it's going to be crazy because Ginebra won the championship without Greg Slaughter last time in the PBA bubble. Now that they have Christian Standhardinger, who played very well in that bubble for Northport, is now with the Ginebra Nation. So I think the Ginebra fans have a lot to look forward to with, two of the best big men in the PBA, and Japet Aguilar, Christian Standhardinger. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with inside with, one of the best leaders in the game, L.A. Tenorio, and of course Tim Cohn, who's one of the best coaches also in the league.
George, when there's a possibility, since Coach Tab Baldwin did say that they're considering Gilas Pilipinas to join the PBA in the near future, that you may have to line up against a Japet Aguilar and a Christian Standhardinger at the same time. From a player's point of view, how do you look at that possibility?
Wow, that's honestly a great pairing for bigs. Both are athletic, both can protect the rim, both can handle the rock, both can shoot. So honestly, you got two talented guys. I just lost for words, honestly.
Well, alam mo, we always say that San Miguel in general is a team of all-stars, especially with the talent that they have up and down the roster. They had added another one with CJ Perez, and alam mo, pabalik na rin si Junmar Fajardo. It's going to be really one of the teams to take down this conference in particular. Isaac, we've seen what CJ Perez can do on a team that honestly wasn't really that talented in comparison to what San Miguel is at the moment. Do you think that CJ Perez will have a hard time, adjusting to all that star power around him, or do you think that he's going to fit in like a glove?
I think there'll be a little bit of adjustment period, but I don't think it's that difficult for CJ. We can see what CJ has done. I think with the national team, he's adjusted with having a lot of talent. I think he'll have to get used to not having the ball all the time. But CJ, great talent, great player, great person. He's gonna adjust. Give him a few games, he's gonna adjust completely.
Jegs, agree ka ba dun?
Well, I would agree with George here. CJ is an all-around player. He can shoot from the outside. He can create. He can handle the rock, and he can finish around the basket. I think there's gonna be some adjustments, but it's gonna be better for him since I think Junmar Fajardo, one of the best players to ever play here in the Philippines. He's gonna be the multiplier effect for this San Miguel team, and because everyone's gonna be focusing on Junmar Fajardo inside the paint. That's going to open up things for a lot of talented players, and CJ Perez will be one of them.
Jegs, I know that you have a lot of experience going up against certain Paul Lee. Now, you pair that Paul Lee with a Calvin Abueva. How scary is that for guards in the PBA?
Well, first of all, my first ever experience with Calvin Abueva was really crazy. He was the first guy who was very physical in me in my one of the first few PBA games. So Calvin Abueva in the Magnolia Hotshots is just a perfect fit. They play physical defense, they play great defense, and Calvin Abueva can switch on a lot of guards and big men. So that's going to be helpful for the Magnolia Hotshots. And what can I say with Paul Lee? The angas ng tondo, he can make baskets. He can shoot from the logo. and pair it up with Calvin Abueva. That's going to be a crazy tandem.
You know, so many big names we're talking about right here, but I want to go to Isaac first. Because as we mentioned a while ago, that there is a bit of a potential of Isaac playing in the PBA this season in particular, either with Gilas or, or with Terra Firma as well. But right now, my question for you, Isaac, who are the 3 players that you're most excited to play against should all of that come to fruition this season?
Of course, number 1, you have the MVP, best player of the conference, Junmar Fajardo. I think that's self-explanatory. I've only gotten a chance to watch him in practice back in I think 2 years ago. But
yeah,
still be able to play against him. Next, Mo Tautua. I got to talk to him a little bit in the bubble. He's a cool guy, and yet he's a type. And number 3 is Troy Rosario. He's someone I trained with a little bit before entering college. And he was like the gauge for me. Like, okay, if you want to make it to the pros, you have to be like a Troy Rosario. You have to be that efficient, that effective. So those 3 guys.
So my question to that is that since you think that you have to be like a Troy, not exactly like him, but then something a bit like him, did you pattern your game at any point to any of these guys that you have here? Well, obviously, particularly Troy, but then amongst the other guys you mentioned too.
I think you can take a little bit from everybody, like Junmar, footwork, the discipline, the reads. Same with Mo, down low in the post. And then with Troy, it's more about mobility, being able to switch on 4s, 3s, be able to hit the outside shot. So I'm taking a little bit of everything from each of these players.
Grabe naman yan, Jegs. Could you imagine if Isaac puts all of that together? Siguro mag-MVP din yan. Diba?
MVP na yan, Pao. If George gets the aggressiveness of Junmar inside the paint, the defense of Mo Tautua, and the agility and the mobility of Troy Rosario, I think that's going to be a complete package for Terra Firma or any team in the PBA.
George, we accidentally set the bar for you very, very high. Thank you very much for joining us here tonight. Jegs, I wish you were here in the studio, but that didn't come to be. Thank you very much for joining me here as well.
Thanks, Pao.
Thanks, pal.
All right, catch us weeknights here on One News, One Sports, and One Sports Plus. My name is Aldo Rosario, and this has been The Game.